I am today going to be talking about mental illness. I don't like that word. Hey guys, what's up and welcome back to another video. My name is Leah and on my channel I share pretty much just my experiences, and most of them relating around wellness, which really is a very broad subject and covers many things. So anything wellness related, that could be mentally, physically, emotionally, socially, job related, relationship related, like literally wellness is everything. It's our whole thing that makes up our life, and there are many different aspects of wellness that, broken down, you can literally go down the rabbit hole of any of them. So that's why it's kind of hard for me to say what my channel's about, because it's about so many different things, but it's all, you know, this overarching wellness. Yeah. But for today's video, this is going to be a little bit different than my other videos. They're more like light and vlog and fun, and yeah. Well, this one is going to be a little bit different. So, what am I talking about? Today, I'm going to be talking about anxiety, specifically social anxiety, but also just like generalized anxiety. I'm going to be talking about my experience with it, kind of like symptoms that I had as a kid that I didn't really know about or learn about or know that it was anxiety until I was like 18 or 19. So I just think that sharing on this topic, and specifically my experience with it, could be very helpful to other people, because I, like, for a long time didn't even know I had anxiety. Yeah, I didn't know I had it, and sometimes I still get like feelings of it, and then I don't I don't realize what it is, and then once I do, I'm like, oh, like it makes so much more sense. So I think that talking about anxiety, understanding anxiety, and all of this can just really help you understand why you're feeling the way you do. And when you understand why you're feeling that way, then you are able to take steps to make it better and to make yourself feel better and to just live a less stressed life to help with that. So, okay, this is kind of hard to talk about because, like, I really have not told a lot of people about it, and it just kind of like feels wrong to talk about it on here. First, I wanted to just talk a little bit about my childhood symptoms that, like, obviously I remember as a kid this stuff happening, and I didn't ever think it was, like, I knew most people didn't do it, but I didn't know why I was doing it. It was just like, that's what I felt like I needed to do. So here are some of the childhood symptoms I had. I was scared to raise my hand in class. I would refuse to go to the bathroom anywhere but my house. I had limited friends, which, like, I mean, I had limited friends I hung out with outside of, like, daycare or school, you know? Like, I had my neighborhood friends, but, like, I grew up with all those guys, so it wasn't, I don't know, it wasn't scary. Like, I had those friends, but I didn't, like, make friends in school that I kept and hung out with out of school, if that makes sense. I feared judgment and embarrassment. I feared social gatherings with unknown people. Like, I remember there were so many times when people would ask me to, like, go to birthday parties and stuff like that in elementary school, and I just wouldn't go because I was super, like, scared and anxious, and it was unknown, and I didn't know it was gonna happen, and I was scared, like I said. So it was, yeah, so I missed out on a lot of stuff like that. People would describe a totally different kid at school or at other people's houses compared to what my parents saw at home, because at home I was comfortable and I like had no fear, so I was just totally 100% myself. And then when I would go out places, I would be very mature, very respectful, very like on top of my shit, have myself together, because I didn't want like the judgment from other people. I didn't want to be embarrassed. I didn't want to say the wrong thing. I didn't want to seem childlike. So I was afraid to answer questions in class. I kind of already said that. I would fake being sick to go to social events or like sports or anything that I didn't want to go to. It was easy. Like, I remember so many times I used to figure skate, and there's so many times that I would not go to figure skating because I just didn't want to, didn't feel like it, didn't want to have to interact with all the older skaters there that I didn't know, because I didn't know what would happen. It's just like, this stuff, now that I'm saying it, sounds so silly and sounds so like weird, but hey, that's anxiety. What else? I would be silent for no reason, and I still do this. Like, I'll just have periods where I'm like super quiet and don't say anything, and like people don't even realize it, I don't think, most of the time, because I can be more of a quiet person, but like there's times when I'm just like not in the room around me, I'm in my head. So the last like childhood symptom is I would have crying fits, and I did not want to go anywhere. I remember I would have crying fits before like going to church, before going to new like summer classes. My parents always put me in like horse camp, tennis camp, mountain biking camp, clay camp, drawing camp, art camp, painting camp. Like, I was a camp kid. In the summers, I was at summer camps, all different ones. So yeah, and like, it was a thing for me. If I was a kid, if I missed the first day of the camp, I would not go because I was scared and anxious, and I felt like everybody would know each other, everybody would have friends, and then I would be like this odd one out coming in where I didn't know anybody. And I was just like afraid, I guess, and nervous that people wouldn't like me, or something would happen and I would embarrass myself, or stuff like that. All these things happened to me, and I did all these things as a kid, and it was just something I had to deal with. It was just something, it just was. Like, it wasn't a thing. Like, I really don't think my parents knew about social anxiety, nor do I think they really understand anxiety. I just don't think they really understood, and a lot of the times they may not have even noticed these things. Like, there's so many things that I could have said, yeah, I was sick, I don't feel good, and then I don't go somewhere, but they don't know that I'm actually not sick. They thought I was sick, you know? So there's, I think, a lot of times when they didn't even know what, like, they didn't even know. Or if I said I didn't want to go to a friend's birthday party, they didn't know that actually I really did want to go to that party. I was just scared to go. Yeah, so there's a lot of things that I don't think my parents ever really realized that I was having anxiety. And yeah, so then I just kind of want to talk about my experience now as an adult and not a child. And I didn't know that I had anxiety until I was about 18 or 19. I had my first panic attack when I was in my sophomore year of college, and it landed me in the emergency room because I didn't know what was happening, and I had never had an anxiety attack or panic attack and didn't even know I had anxiety. So it was like, I didn't know what was going on. But since then, I have learned more and figured out more. I've also had TMJ, which is just like clenching of the jaw at night because you're stressed or anxious, and yeah, it makes your jaw like clench literally. And like I woke up the next morning and I could barely move my jaw, I could barely talk, I could like literally not open it more than like this. It's not yeah, so that sucked. I was like, what is this? I need to not feel this again. So given my background with all of this stuff, oh, and I did this is totally random, but I did this like survey in my 9th grade health class, and it said that I was most likely to die from like heart complications from being like stressed and anxious. And I was like, psh, doesn't know what it's talking about. And now I'm like, oh, maybe it did. Like, is it that obvious? So yeah, knowing that stuff, like knowing you have anxiety is helpful because you're able to deal with it. Like now that I know that I have it, of course I still get anxious. I still find myself avoiding social situations. I don't make up reasons. That's what I hate about anxiety. It's not that I'm making it up. Like, it's this messed up thing in your head where like it's something you fear, and so your head goes into override and it's like, meh, meh, meh. Well, I'm gonna fix it so that I don't have to worry about that, and I don't have to go deal with that situation that is probably gonna make me uncomfortable. And you know what, maybe it won't make me uncomfortable, but I think that it's gonna make me uncomfortable, so I'm gonna find a way to get out of that on my terms. So that means, oh, I don't feel good anymore, I'm sick, don't want to do it. It's such an easy way to get out of stuff like that. And I'm not saying it's good. I should not do that. I should go out in those situations that challenge me and I should do it. But that's not how anxiety works. And sometimes I don't. And sometimes anxiety takes over me before I even realize what the fuck is going on. And that, I think, is like one of the main things with anxiety. And like people think that people are lying or like making it up, and it's like, no, actually my brain is taking care of itself and I'm just a human living that experience, and I can't control it always. I try to, but like there's times when I don't even realize that I'm having anxiety until after the fact. I'm like, and then I reflect on it and I'm like, oh, that was anxiety, you know? Yeah. I don't know. It's still something I'm figuring out every single day. There's no like one way to solve it, one answer. All I can say is the awareness of knowing that you have anxiety can really help. And yeah, I don't really know what else to say. I just kind of wanted to share my experience because I never knew I had anxiety, and it's helpful to know. It's just really interesting because, kind of like I was saying, like mental health is something that's invisible, and it can even be invisible to the person it's affecting. Like when you have been doing something your whole life like that, I don't know why I'm getting emotional right now, but it's just frustrating when people think that like it's not real, or it's not like you're making it up, or it's something that you can control, because a lot of the time it's not. Anyways, oh my god, I did not think I was gonna get emotional. This is strange. Yeah, I guess my point making this video is just to raise awareness, and if you are anxious, or if you feel this way that I do, or if you like resonate with anything that I'm saying, just know that you're not alone, and a lot of people are going through it, probably more than you know, more than people ever talk about, more like, and that's the thing, like even though it's something that so many people are talking about now, it is something that still can go unnoticed. It's something that you can still have no idea about. Like, you can think it's totally normal and that's just how you are, not realizing that, like, no, there's an alternative, and you can go into social situations without being uncomfortable and without being scared. And it's weird because, like, it's different for everybody. Like, one of the childhood symptoms was not wanting to, like, go order your own food, and, like, I didn't want to do that as a kid, but my parents would force me, and then once I did it, I wasn't so nervous about it, but, like, they literally would force me to do it. I remember this one specific one. It was for tennis camp, and I don't know if I don't really remember if I had really bad anxiety or, like, why I didn't want to go. I missed the first day of tennis camp, and I don't know if it was for, like, a vacation or something, but we missed the first day, and I was like, no, I'm not going. I missed the first day. And my parents are like, no, we paid money for this, like, you're going. And so, bawling, my dad got me into the car. He got me into the car and was like, nope, we're going. He drove me there, and I was in the car bawling. I did not want to go. I was like, no, I'm not going. You can't make me. Just being a brat. So I was being a brat, and I didn't want to go because social anxiety. And eventually I was, like, next to him, walking with him, but he forced me to go. Like, he really made me go to this tennis camp. So we're up on the tennis courts, and granted, I am still crying for no reason, and he just pushed me in there and left. And I went and got in line, my crying self, and tried to not be the crybaby that just came in a day late to tennis camp. Yeah, so I think that not making excuses for your anxiety is really important. And I think that it's, like, and definitely as a kid, my parents forcing me into those situations that I was anxious about definitely helped me. But yeah, making excuses for your anxiety is not good, and it's not healthy. You should not make excuses for your anxiety. You should see the anxiety and then find ways that you can move past it. Sometimes it just helps me to, like, rationalize. I wanted to call my parents and see if they even knew that I had anxiety as a kid. So I'm gonna call my mom right now and see what she has to say. This is weird because, like, even when I was in college and this happened to me, the anxiety attack, like, I didn't really talk with my parents about it. And yeah, it's just never really been something we've talked about. So this is kind of weird. But here we go.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi.
Do you have a minute?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm filming a video about anxiety, and I was just wondering if, like, you guys knew at all when I was a kid if I had it, or, like, if you saw any symptoms of it.
No.
Not at all?
No.
Do you okay, so I mean, I obviously didn't either, but I also didn't know, like, what symptoms were in kids. And when I found out what the symptoms were, I was like, oh, maybe there was something. So like, some of them were when people would describe, like, a different kid than you saw at home.
Never had that experience.
When, like, okay.
That wouldn't have seemed weird.
Right, okay, so other ones, like crying fits, not wanting to go out places.
No.
No?
No.
Or, like, oh, faking being sick to avoid events.
Well,
Yeah, that's like one thing.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I don't know.
That's the only one I remember.
Yeah. Huh. Interesting. Well, that's all. I just wanted to see if you guys like knew or
No.
I don't know.
No.
Yeah.
Clueless,
Or the other thing that I was thinking of is like when I would miss the first day of something.
Oh, yeah, and then you wouldn't go. Yeah, I do remember that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's all. Okay, I just got off the phone with my mom, and as you guys heard, like, she did not notice a lot of this stuff, or like didn't realize. Well, and she said it's normal, but it's not normal. It's not. I mean, maybe it is, like, to a certain extent. Like, yes, I have to pee so bad. To a certain extent, like, yes, social settings are uncomfortable, but this was like to a point where it was like affecting my friendships and stuff, you know, like that's not normal. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you kind of are able to connect with this in some way. And yeah, thanks so much for watching. If you like it, please make sure you subscribe and thumbs up and leave me a comment below about this, because it's not something I ever thought I would share and is still like uncomfortable to share kind of. So yeah, thanks. Bye.